Hello everyone, and welcome to Galaxy 89 Cars. Today, thanks to HWM Aston Martin, I'm taking you on an in-depth exterior and interior tour and exhaust sound video of this 2018 Aston Martin Vanquish S Ultimate Edition. You can find all of HWM's contact details in the description of the video. The Vanquish S Ultimate Edition is a limited run of just 175 examples, produced with an enhanced specification over the standard Vanquish S at the end of its production. The differences are purely design and or aesthetic, so the dimensions and power figures for the standard car are the same. S Ultimate Edition is based on the same bonded aluminium chassis with carbon fibre panels and comes in at 4,730mm long, 2,067mm wide including the mirrors, 1,295mm high, and has a curb weight of 1,739 kilograms. Now moving to the powertrain, we first need to open the bonnet to access the engine bay. The bonnet release catch is found to the left of the passenger's footwell. Moving around to the front, and the plastic lever needs to be pulled out to release the bonnet. If we take a moment, we can note the carbon fibre construction of the bonnet. Ultimate Edition is powered by a front mid-mounted, naturally aspirated 6-litre V12 that comes with revised inlet manifolds and produces 595 brake horsepower and 630 Nm of torque. This output results in a 0 to 62 mph time of 3.5 seconds and a top speed of 201 mph. Once finished here, we can lower the bonnet to ensure it secures below. Moving down to the corners, we find new 20-inch front and rear 5-spoke black wheels for this model. Braking is provided by 4 carbon ceramic discs, 398mm at the front and 360mm at the rear. The car's stability is provided by front and rear independent double wishbones with coil springs and adaptive dampers. There's also a limited slip differential at the rear. Now we've finished the model overview, we can start the exterior tour from the front. This car is finished in the new Ultimate Black, and the exposed carbon here comes as standard. The lower section of the front comes with carbon extensions that curl up at the sides, forming canards for enhanced downforce. Above these we find 2 grilled areas, which are the main air intakes for the radiators, engine and front brake cooling. As we move up, we come to the single bi-xenon headlamps with LED daytime running lights. Moving back over the dynamic carbon bonnet, we find standard carbon fibre vents on either side. Behind this is the large angular windscreen. As we continue back, we come to the gloss carbon roof, which comes as standard. This helps to lower the car's centre of gravity. Moving down to the bottom of the lateral aspect, we find gloss carbon side skirts as standard. There are grills above these to help the engine release hot air. The side strakes running through them are carbon fibre as standard and are presented here with new rose gold decals. Above these, the electrically folding wing mirrors are cased in carbon fibre as standard. As we continue to move back, we come to the 78-litre fuel tank. This car returns a combined MPG of 21.6. Moving up and centrally, we come to the large wiperless rear window and the new contrast quilting style inside. This area flows down to the rear wing, helps the car to produce a total of 180 kg of downforce and remains unchanged. Now at the rear of the car, we find the angular rear light complexes that have a feathering design. Between these, we find the model insignia, boot release and rear view camera. Finally, we come to the large diffuser that comes in carbon as standard. It features 4 fins and a grille centrally to aid airflow and cooling, respectively. On either side of this, we find the dual, valve-controlled exhaust outlets that we will hear later in the video. Now moving to the interior, we first need to unlock the car using the glass-topped emotional control unit key. As the handles are flush, the front needs to be pushed in so the rear can be grabbed and pulled to open the swan doors. Inside, we find some features particular to this car that we will focus on in detail as we progress, but as ever, we will start with the doors. There is a smooth leather upholstered panel at the top with an integrated lateral airbag. Below this and at the end of the door is the first speaker from the B&O system. There is a line of chestnut tan double stitch separating the smooth top and quilted centre sections. As we continue down, we come to the driver controls for electric mirrors, windows, petrol tank flap, and to lock and unlock the car. Now rolling over to the side of the armrest, we find the integrated door release and slim storage area below it. The wide sill comes with a new carbon fibre kickplate with a commemorative plaque embedded into it. To the left of this is the manual handbrake. Looking up from the handbrake, we find the first manually adjustable air vent with exterior lighting controls below it. Continuing left, we come to the 177 angular steering wheel that starts with a 12 o'clock marker, horn controls at the grip positions, buttons for calls and suspension to the left, and for cruise control and drive mode to the right. To turn the car on, we need to place the emotional control unit into its slot in the central column. The car then comes to life, and the screen and B&O tweeters rise. We can now hear the car in standard and sport modes. Moving back inside, we can take a closer look at the analog instrument cluster. Fuel gauge, speedo, revs, both with small digital screens, and engine temperature. On either side of the hood, there are buttons to cycle through the small display screens. We also find the B&O tweeters on either side of the dash, with the carbon fibre waterfall centre console in the middle. Looking up, there are slim sun visors with equally slim but usable vanity mirrors. Between these, there are two interior lights, with the auto-dimming rear view mirror below. Now moving to the infotainment system, we can start from left to right with the reversing camera display, then vehicle status for the real-time power, RPM and torque output, and tyre pressure. Then screens for navigation, media player including the DAB digital radio, and phone connectivity are next. Then options to pair devices via Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. System settings is last, and contains all the usual setup and configuration options. Below the screen are two manually adjustable air vents on dark chrome surrounds. Continuing down, we come to the main controls for the Touchtronic 3 8-speed gearbox: park, reverse, key input, neutral and drive. When in drive, the car can be used in auto or manual modes, where shifts need to be done using the paddles behind the steering wheel. There are two rotaries below for fan speed, with air direction and passenger seat ventilation controls to the left, and volume rotary central, with demist and driver seat ventilation to the right. There are also haptic direct access controls below these, split by a rotary control, all for the infotainment system. At the very bottom of the waterfall central column, we find buttons for the hazard lights, parking sensors, traction control off, and launch control. The first part of the central column is this open storage area that has two adjustable cup holders. There is a quilted leather armrest behind that offers more general storage and USB and 12-volt inputs. Finally, there is a single cup holder for the rear occupants. Either side of the central column, we find the electrically adjustable seats that start at the top with custom Ultimate Edition embroidery. As we move down, we find the same quilting pattern as on the doors. All of the memory and movement controls can be found on the sides of the central column. To lean the seats forward, a small button on the rear needs to be pressed. When looking into the rear, we see this as more of a 2+2, with the same quilting and a central Aston Martin logo. Now we've finished on the inside, we can remove the emotional control unit, watch the screen and B&O tweeters descend, and step outside to view the car's remaining storage. The boot lid can be opened using the button on the key, on the lid itself, or the button inside, and needs to be lifted up. Just as the bonnet, the boot lid is made from carbon fibre, so is very light. Looking down, we find a 368 litre storage area. There is a small kit to the side that contains the tyre repair equipment. Once finished here, the lid needs to be manually lowered and secured below. So that concludes my in-depth exterior and interior tour and exhaust sound video of this 2018 Aston Martin Vanquish S Ultimate Edition. Please contact HWM Aston Martin if you have any questions about this car. All of their contact details are in the description of the video. Please subscribe for the latest content, and until next time, thanks for watching.